Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and honestly, a kind of deeply uncomfortable paradox that basically dictates every single aspect of our daily lives. Here's the crazy premise we're unpacking today. What if the exact same biological instinct that kept our ancient ancestors alive is now the literal thing destroying our focus and our financial independence? Let's jump right in and explore the profound price we pay for comfort. So, think about it. Every single morning, your brain offers you a choice. It's an internal battle I know we're all too familiar with. Do you stay in that nice, warm bed, or do you actually get up, right? Do you choose comfort, or do you choose growth? Well, most of us don't even realize it, but nearly every decision we make all day long is guided by one overriding instinct, and that's the desire to avoid discomfort at all costs. Your mind is literally wired to conserve energy. It just wants to protect you and keep you perfectly safe. But that safety, it comes with a hidden cost.
We essentially face this crossroads every single day. You've got the easy path on one side and the meaningful path on the other. And here's the thing. When you constantly choose that easy path, when you only do what feels safe, you're slowly training your mind to avoid challenge altogether. And a mind that avoids challenge, it eventually becomes fragile. It means that the smallest obstacles start to feel like these overwhelming, impossible defeats. The meaningful path, on the other hand, well, that demands that we face that friction head on.
Section 1. The price of comfort, a biological trap.
Okay, so the absolute crucial point here is that avoiding discomfort is, at its core, a survival instinct, right? Thousands of years ago, conserving energy by avoiding unnecessary danger literally kept humans alive. It was a massive biological advantage. But today it's exactly what keeps us stuck in mediocrity. Because the modern life you actually want, the skills you want to master, the business you're trying to build, that true freedom you're after, that stuff rarely ever exists inside your comfort zone.
Section 2. Motion is not progress. The busyness trap.
Drawing on Cal Newport's concept of deep work, let's look at the contrast here. Most people completely mistake motion for progress. Look, being busy is exhausting. You're frantically clearing notifications, you're replying to endless messages, bouncing between a million tasks, sitting in pointless meetings, and by 5 p.m., you're just totally drained. You proudly declare, man, I've been busy all day. But here's the reality check. Being busy is not the same as being productive. Busyness is actually just the easy, comfortable path. It's a clever way our brains escape the actual difficult, uncomfortable work of mastering a real skill or moving a massive project forward. And the science behind these comfortable distractions is seriously eye-opening. Every single notification, every little buzz or vibration from your phone, it's violently competing for your focus. And when you give in to that comfortable urge to just quickly check a message, you experience something called attention residue. What that means is, even after you go back to your main task, a literal part of your mind stays stuck on that previous message. Your concentration is weakened, your thinking becomes incredibly shallow. Every single time we choose the easy distraction, we are literally shattering our own ability to solve complex problems. It's wild. If you want to achieve truly extraordinary results, you've got to look at the master craftsmen. Think about the sculptors, the woodworkers, the blacksmiths. When they're in the middle of creating a masterpiece, they absolutely do not stop every 5 minutes to check their phones or doom scroll through a feed. No way. They close the door. They enter this state of complete uninterrupted focus. They actually embrace the boredom and violently resist distraction. Their superpower is literally just the discipline to sit quietly with a really difficult task, which proves that the value you create in life is directly tied to the quality of your unbroken concentration. Moving right along to Section 3, Invisible Wealth, True Independence. Let's pivot for a second from how comfort destroys our productivity and look at how it absolutely wrecks our finances. So, society has basically conditioned us to look at all the wrong things. We constantly look at what people spend rather than what they actually own. And as Morgan Housel points out, there is a massive difference between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich, that's highly visible, it's flashy. It's that high income that lets someone buy the expensive jewelry, the luxury cars, and the newest gadgets right now. But wealth is completely different. Wealth is actually hidden. It's the money you actively choose not to spend. It's that emergency fund sitting quietly in the background, or that expensive vacation you decided to postpone. Let's break down the incredibly uncomfortable math of the human ego. The exact moment someone goes out and drops $50,000 on a luxury car just to look more successful, sure, they might appear richer to the outside world. But the actual reality? They have literally just become $50,000 less wealthy. It's that simple. They've traded their actual financial power for the mere appearance of it. Which brings us to this absolutely profound takeaway. Wealth is what you don't see. Real wealth was never, ever designed to impress strangers on the street. Its true, ultimate purpose is freedom. It is the ability to wake up in the morning and just know that your choices belong to you. It's having the freedom to walk away from a terrible boss, to take a huge risk, and to truly own your time. Every single dollar you spend purely to impress other people literally moves you one step further away from that freedom. Which leads us to Section 4, Surviving Wealth, Staying Rich. Okay, so now that we've defined what wealth actually is, we really need to talk about how to keep it. Because getting rich is a skill, for sure, but staying rich is a completely different game entirely. Think about it. To get rich, you need courage, you need boundless optimism, and you absolutely have to take risks. You gotta put yourself out there. But keeping that money, that demands the exact opposite. It requires profound humility, self-control, immense patience, and a really healthy respect for just how quickly fortunes can vanish. The exact same mindset that helps you build wealth can absolutely destroy it if you let your ego take the wheel. Let's compare two totally different mindsets here. Look at Investor One. They managed to make a spectacular 50% return in a single year. Amazing, right? Well, they feel unstoppable, their ego totally inflates, they start taking on way more risks, and they upgrade to the super flashy lifestyle. But then, the market turns, and one single overconfident decision leads to a devastating 80% wipeout. Boom, gone. Now look over at Investor 2. Their returns are just a boring, steady 10%. But they save diligently, they avoid unnecessary, wild risks, and they honestly couldn't care less about impressing anyone at the country club. If you follow that out over a 20-year timeline, the result is absolutely stunning. The flashy investor completely crashes and burns, spending literally years just trying to claw back and recover from their mistakes. Meanwhile, the boring investor's money just quietly compounds over 2 decades into massive generational wealth. The key difference here wasn't raw intelligence, and it definitely wasn't luck. It was survival. Surviving long enough for the magic of compounding to actually do its thing is the ultimate wealth-building skill. And finally, Section 5, where comfort ends, growth begins. Ultimately, whether we're talking about doing intense, deep work or building quiet, invisible wealth, it all comes down to the exact same mental muscle. Think about how a sword is forged for a second. A blacksmith doesn't just leave a piece of steel sitting in a cool, comfortable room. No, that metal has to be thrust into an intensely hot fire. It gets struck by a heavy hammer again and again and again. And that extreme heat, it doesn't destroy the steel, it completely transforms it. The hammer doesn't weaken it, it strengthens it. Without the fire, there's no blade. Without the immense pressure, there is simply no strength. That incredibly difficult challenge you're trying to escape right now, it might be the exact thing preparing you for greatness. All right, so how do we actually apply this today? Based on everything we've unpacked, I've got a 3-step challenge for you. Step 1, set a timer today and do 90 minutes of pure, uninterrupted deep work on that one specific task you've been avoiding. Just embrace the boredom. Step 2, take a hard look at your bank statement and cut just one expense that exists purely for status, then redirect that exact amount into your Freedom Fund. Step 3, choose one physical or mental challenge to tackle today. Even something small, like taking the stairs instead of the elevator or setting your alarm an hour early. Just make one deliberate, uncomfortable choice. Because listen, every single time you choose discipline over comfort, you become just a little bit stronger. I want to leave you with this lingering thought on the screen right now. Comfort is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. The exact person you dream of becoming is waiting right on the other side of the choices you're avoiding today. So ask yourself, what kind of person are you truly capable of becoming if you finally decide to step out of that warm bed? Thank you.